Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Let's begin your daily quiz with question number 1 coming on your screen now. Consider the following statements with regards to the famous Sun Temple of Odisha. Number 1. It was built in the 13th century by King Narsimha Dev I of the Eastern Ganga Empire. Second, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year 1984. And third, sailors once called the Sun Temple of Konark the Black Pagoda because it was supposed to draw ships into the shore and cause shipwrecks. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer out of all these is D, since all the three given statements are correct. It is one of the first places to be given the UNESCO World Heritage Site tag in India and was built by the King Narsimha Dev I of the Eastern Ganga Empire. It's also famously called the Black Pagoda. The reason why we are asking this question today is that the Archaeological Survey of India is now working on a plan to remove the sand that is kept inside the temple. The sand was added by the British to ensure stability is brought to this particular structure. The article tells us that the structure was built by the King Narsimha Dev I between 1238 and 1250 CE. This 13th century temple was built in the Kalinga style and forms a part of the Golden Triangle of Odisha along with Puri and Bhubaneswar and attracts a lot of tourists, pilgrims, and those who are interested in learning about the history and art of this place. The British had filled the structure with sand about 118 years ago to prevent it from collapsing. The Archaeological Survey's idea of bringing out all the sand was first floated in February of 2020, and it is expected the final call on it will be taken very soon. Next, question number 2. Who amongst the following decides the date of election for the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly? Is it the Governor, President, Chief Minister, or the State Election Commission? The answer here is A, Governor. The reason why we are asking this question particularly is with respect to what is happening in the state of Maharashtra. As you know, the Maharashtra government right now is run by three parties together, that is the Shiv Sena, the Congress, and the NCP. And for some reason, they have not been able to successfully appoint a new speaker in the state's legislative assembly. A couple of years back, when the government was formed, the Congress leader Nana Patole was appointed as the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly. However, this year in the month of Feb, he retired from this post and was subsequently made the Congress President in the state of Maharashtra. Since then, the post has been vacant. One of the reasons is that the state government has been sending proposals to the Maharashtra governor asking him about the final date for the election of the speaker. And for some reason, the Maharashtra governor, that is Shri Bhagat Singh Koshari, has not been given them final dates for the election of the speaker. There were a lot of allegations that the state government may decide to go ahead without even getting the assent of the governor, but that would go against the constitution and would most certainly be challenged in the Supreme Court. And that is why the state government also is sitting tight and waiting for the governor to change his mind. Thus, the assembly of the state is working without a speaker for almost 11 months now. Next, question number 3. Which of these products has or have been conferred a GI tag in India? Manipuri black rice from Manipur, the Rasagolla from Odisha, the Bhagalpur silk from Bihar, Feni from Goa, and Patan Patola from Rajasthan. You have the option in front of you. The correct answer here is C, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Except the last one, all four have been granted the GI tag. Now, the interesting part is even Patan Patola has been granted the GI tag, but not from Rajasthan, but from the state of Gujarat. And that is why the correct answer here is all except 5. The reason why we are asking this question is because there is a recently filed application seeking geographical indication tag for the Apatani textile that is specifically made by a tribe living in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The weave comes from a tribe living in Zero, that is a part of the Subhansiri district in Arunachal Pradesh. This woven fabric is known for its geometric and zigzag patterns and for its angular designs. The Apatani community weaves its own textiles for various occasions, including rituals and many other cultural festivals that take place within the state. The people use leaves and plant resources for organic dyeing of the cotton yarns in their traditional way. Also, it is only the women folk who are engaged in the weaving of this particular textile. Next, question number 4. Which of these given statements with regards to the Indian Council for Cultural Relations is not correct? Number 1. It is an autonomous organization of the Government of India involved in India's external cultural relations through cultural exchange with other nations and their people. Second, it was founded in 1950 by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, independent India's first cultural minister. Third, it has been assigned the responsibility of facilitating the celebration of International Day of Yoga by Indian missions and posts abroad since 2015. Fourth, the ICCR has instituted several awards which are conferred upon the foreign nationals for their contributions in different fields, such as Distinguished Indologist Award and Gisela Bourne Award. You have to choose the one statement which is not correct out of these four. The correct answer here is B. First part of the statement is correct. It was founded in 1950 by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, but he was not India's first cultural minister. He was India's first education minister. The other three statements and the facts given are true. It is an autonomous organization and has been given the responsibility of spreading cultural diplomacy in the neighborhood and in other parts of the world. It has also been given the responsibility to celebrate the International Yoga Day abroad since 2015. The reason why we're asking this question is because the ICCR has recently requested the Civil Aviation Ministry to take steps to play Indian music within the aircrafts and airports to spread India's culture far and wide. Right now, most of the music that is played by the airlines across the globe is quintessential to their nation and plays an important role in spreading the nation's culture. For example, the airlines that belong to America usually play the jazz music, the ones that belong to Austria play the Mozart music, so on and so forth, and the same should be followed by the Indian airlines as well. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has passed on this request to the respective airlines and airports in India. Next, we have a previous year question from the year 2019. For the measurement or estimation of which of the following are satellite images and remote sensing data used? Number 1. Chlorophyll content in the vegetation of a specific location. Second, the greenhouse gas emissions from rice paddies of a specific location. And third, land surface temperatures of a specific location. Which of these can be estimated or measured with the use of satellite images or remote sensing data technology? The correct answer here is D. All these three can be estimated to a certain extent by using this particular technology. The visible or near infrared reflectance properties of the leaves in most of the trees can be studied, and thus the chlorophyll content of those trees can be determined using the satellite images. Similarly, they can be used for measuring the greenhouse gas emissions from rice paddies and land surface temperature at specific locations. The Indian scientists have been using high resolution maps generated by these satellites to specifically see the cloud prone rice paddy cultivation regions. Next, we have a fact of the day, and today we will be discussing about the two new vaccines and the anti-COVID pill that the government of India has just approved to be used in India. As you would have seen in the newspapers, the government of India has approved two new vaccines, namely Covavax and Corbevax, which can be used in case of emergency. Apart from that, the government has also approved the use of an anti-COVID pill, that is Molnupiravir. All these three have been given emergency use approval just yesterday. Let's see how do they work and how are they different from the existing alternatives that we already have. The Corbevax is manufactured by a Hyderabad-based company called Biological E. It is a protein subunit vaccine, and thus instead of the complete virus, it uses the fragments of the virus to trigger an immune response within the body. The company estimates that it would be able to produce about 7.5 crore doses a month of this vaccine and can further expand its facility to reach a target of 10 crore doses in a month from the month of February. In the third stage trials of this vaccine, the company tested it on over 3,000 subjects and 33 studies across the country, under which the Delta strain effectiveness was over 80%. The Covavax, that is the other vaccine approved by the government, is manufactured by the Serum Institute of India and is also a protein subunit vaccine but uses a recombinant nanoparticle technology. It has been developed by the US based Novavax. As you know, the Serum Institute of India is mainly a vaccine manufacturer and they don't do research in the making of the vaccine as such. The same technology used by this vaccine is used in the hepatitis B and the HPV vaccines around the world. This vaccine has also been given an emergency use approval by Philippines. In the earlier discussions of the Hindu newspaper, we have discussed about the Molnupiravir oral antiviral drug multiple times. It has been developed by collaboration of the US firms and Merck. It was initially used to treat influenza, but since then it has been repurposed to target the COVID virus specifically. The drug comes in the form of 200 mg pills, and the recommendation in India is for 800 mg twice daily for 5 days. It will be manufactured by 13 drug manufacturers in India. As per the Indian government's guidelines, the recommendation is for treatment of adult COVID patients with oxygen level of over 93%. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.